drinking.
Oh, are we sync?
Gotta do.
Can't see any picture. Really? I can't see anything at my end.
Seeing, yeah, I'm so
Let me
best
try.
behaviour now.
This whole streaming thing's completely.
So or at least because the stream I've got on my phone is coming off YouTube, and I'm seeing both me and you on there. So I think we're live. Hello, everybody.
Okay, yeah, no, it's coming through the phone, both of us loud and clear, I think.
So let's just see. Cup and stuff. Hear us okay? Anybody want to put in the comments? Just cupboard monkey is relevant.
If we're on the same stream.
Oh, you've got your own cupboard monkey.
Not today, I'm afraid, but yeah, we've got one on your side.
Not when she's finished.
Yeah. If anyone in the chat can let me know the audio levels, because this is the first time I've ever gone live. I've spent the last several hours trying to get this working. Yeah, I am, yeah.
Multiple people using just drugs. So
right, James says can't hear Ollie.
yeah, should
be
right.
James, can you hear me now? Oh. Right, Jenny, yeah, I think you're coming through clear on my stream, then I'm coming through on my own stream. Can anyone hear me at all? Am I even in the background or?
Yeah, I can, but
I think everyone's saying that I'm miming. Hello?
background or anything.
Hello? Yeah, I'm just having a...
Sort where you're
it makes sense. Oh! I'm coming through loud and clear on my phone. Yeah, I'm just, it's cutting in and out. Right, so let's change some, I think the stream is running a little bit slower than, output. I'm very new to these settings. Jenny, Ollie, you're very quiet, and Jenny's breaking up on sound. That's probably... Yeah, I'm getting your image back clearly, but it looks like coming through the OBS, it's struggling to run the Skype as well. Let me maybe try turning off this camera. Oh. I could try. Would Facebook Messenger work, or is that? Yeah. See, on my OBS audio, you and me are coming through perfectly clear. It's just the video is looking a bit stuttered.
Things. I'm wondering about.
Right. Not sure the best way to. Right. What I'll do is I'll end the call and I'll call you back on Facebook Messenger and see if that does. Right. Can we just check see if how I'm coming through at the moment, and then we'll try and get Jenny on the line again. So the problem with OBS is you can only stream, you can only run, you can only like test it when you're going live, which is annoying. Can anyone just check to see if they can hear me? We'll get started in a minute. Just make sure mine's coming through okay at the moment. Right, we're still having some audio issues. Jenny, if you're watching, I will call you in 2 minutes. Is this any better for the microphone? Jenny, it's coming through my phone at the moment. I'll answer in 2 seconds on the computer. Can anybody hear me at all at the moment? My sound is quiet. I'm really confused as to why it's not. Can't hear. Hang on a second. I'm very sorry about this, guys. Mic on USB. Let's try do this again. Test. Can anybody? Is that coming through any better? Still quiet. Hang on, sorry about this, guys. Am I still? Can people still? Okay, I've not dropped any frames yet. Yeah, I think Skype is really slowing this computer down. Not sure why it's not even letting me. Right, let's try this again. Hang on a second. We want Facebook video call. Very annoying when it works. Oh Lord, what's happening here? Oh, we hello? I can hear you. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Microphone, here we go, hang on. Hello? Can you hear me? Right, okay, so we're halfway there. I should still let me refresh it. I should still be live. Yeah, I can see your video feed. So next we want to Oh. Right, so yeah, let's just check that my sound's coming. We'll do one thing at a time. We'll get let's just make sure. Can everybody hear me better? If everyone can just confirm they can hear me, all right, and then we'll get Jenny in here. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. It's a learning experience. Right, now we want NDI source. OBS is great, so you want to do anything slightly more complicated, and then it's Oh, hello. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I just checking. I hadn't lost you there. Right. What we'll do is we'll do. Browser. Yeah, it's coming as far as my headphones at the moment. However, very shortly, I'm hoping we can get I'm so sorry about this, by the way, guys, and Jenny as well. Everything works fine, and then well, we need we want display capture. Oh no, we don't want that. I'm getting there. Window capture. Ah, right. We need. Where's? I'm trying to get the face. Ah, messenger call. Hang on. Oh. You might have appeared. I'm not sure if people can hear you yet, but we'll get there. It takes. Right, no, I just got to sort your audio out now. Oh, I'm coming through super loud now, I think. Let me turn me down. You could be saying anything at the moment. Google Chrome. Try talking. Well, we'll get there. This is way more complicated than I thought it was going to be. We've got 50 people watching and I can't even get the audio to work. Oh dear. Audio output capture. Let's try Google Chrome. What about now? No, that's not working. Yeah, it's just coming straight out of the computer at the moment. Oh, actually, I've got an idea. Sorry about this, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. How's everybody doing? I've just had another idea. The joys of live streaming, eh? The joys of live streaming. Yeah, it's just coming straight. Right, let me put the phone there so I can read the comments. Right, now we're going to do this. I'm hoping that what I'm going to do in a second will work. We want Google Chrome to come through here. We want oh dear, we'll get there. So that stream audio set up right now. Someone says, Jenny, you can sing now because we can't hear you. Oh dear. If only there's a way to get the sound. Put 50p in the meter. Hang on, if I play you out loud out the computer, will people be able to hear you through micro? That's my only other. Right, I'll try see what happens. Do you want to speak a second?
Hello everybody, I be heard now? Did it come out through your speakers?
It is coming out through my speakers.
So it's just whether or not I then come through loud enough. Ed Sutherland, you naughty boy. I can read lips. She said you can have a free loco of hers, your choice.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Let's see if we can. Let's see if. Oh, someone. Tian says I can hear her.
Right. So I'm coming. Am I coming out at the right volume now?
Guys, can we get a quick volume check?
So, am I coming out at a comparable volume? I can turn my mic up at this end if needs be. Colin White says only just. So, oh gosh, that's if I do that, am I coming through a lot louder there?
Let's see what people say. The chat obviously is a few seconds behind, so.
People can actually hear me, but saying I'm coming through very, very quiet. I don't know whether you're able to turn me up at your end, because I'm about to go into the red at my end.
What I'll do is I'll turn myself down, and then if everyone turn theirs up.
Is this going to be a Wardle Road sponsored by Billy's Replacement Spookers?
Louder, yes, I can hear. A bit better, yes, better. I'm so sorry about this, guys. It shows I shouldn't be allowed to run a live stream.
We should have done a test stream, one that didn't go to YouTube. We actually recorded it and then.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
See what it's like.
Hang on a second. Right. Let me put this here. Oh, is that me or you? I've got. Oh,
that's me being naughty. I've just fired up a class 20.
I was gonna say I haven't got an engineer me, so if it's coming from my end.
You're like, whoa, what's going on? What's going on? Down again.
Let's see what people are saying. You're on my phone. I'm watching on my phone. You're coming through super clear.
Me, right, so Medway Peninsula Model Railway says loud and clear now. Roger Hunter says sound is good, you both. WW Scenics, big hello to you. We can hear Jenny. Right, so I
Flymo says it sounds like Jenny's in the room, so it must be coming through fairly well.
Oh, brilliant. Well, I've turned my mic up until it's just below the red, so I don't know whether that's helped a little bit. But right, okay,
we can start now.
Let's just pretend that the last 20 minutes didn't happen. Hello, everybody.
Welcome to this live stream, guys. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, we've just started now, so thank you. So probably got 51 people in here already, considering we started 10 seconds ago.
Yeah. Sometimes it's actually quite fun to watch things go wrong. I can remember as a child, and again, this kind of dates me, watching, it was probably something on BBC Two, and the guy was sat there going, right, we're going to go over to a piece of video that we've got, and then the phone on his desk rang. So, what do you mean we don't have it? Oh, well, let's go to an alternative piece of video. What do you mean we haven't got that either? And he just sits there and goes, well, we've got half an hour to fill, and we don't appear to have any of the video we were supposed to be showing.
I mean, this could have made some alternative video as well. The last half an hour of watching me mess around with the sound on here. At the moment, I'm just checking the thing. I'm getting 57 frames per second mine, but I'm not sure if anyone can just confirm in the video how I'm coming through. I think my audio is coming through fine. Your video and audio is coming through fine.
Yeah, I'm looking all right, but you're a bit sort of like you're on a video phone.
I'm a bit choppy, am I?
A little bit, yeah. Just don't make any sudden moves, and it'll be all right.
Well, as long as they can hear me all right and they can see you, at least they're getting 50% of it.
Oh yeah, Tim Jade says Blue Peter with the elephant. Oh gosh, yes.
So yes, thank you, Jenny, for being my first guest on the Wardle Road live stream.
Well, thank you. It's an honour to be asked. Actually, it's great to, in a virtual sense, get out and about and get on other people's channels.
Yeah, it's not quite being in Weir Yard, but with everything going on at the moment, it'll have to do.
I know, yes. Well, when the lockdown lifts, you really must come back and visit and see how different it is. You
Yeah.
can tell there's been a lockdown because it's done so much of it.
No, I've been oh, everyone's saying that. A lot of people are saying I'm fine and a bit choppy. I'll take I'm a bit choppy. I don't want to touch it anymore because
Yeah, it's like if it isn't too broken,
too
don't
broken.
trust
Yeah.
it.
But the first, we've already got a question in actually from James Akers who says, "Where is your favourite preserved railway you've visited?" So
Me? Ah, right. Well, if I have to pick one, um, I guess the East Lancs Railway, if only because that's my local preserved line. So it's quite convenient to go there, and I do tend to go there quite a lot.
yeah,
But in terms of a preserved line anywhere in the UK, I follow with great interest work at both the Great Central Railway
yeah.
and also the Stainmore Railway up at Kirby Stephen East as well. I've been following that project since since before it started. But
Yeah.
anyway, I've had an interest in that station for probably about 30 years since I first saw the site. So probably a toss up between those two.
Okay, yeah. And mine, I don't think mine's. Yeah, I don't know if you've heard the Didcot. I'm sure most people in the chat actually have heard of Dig.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not. It's preserved because it's technically still joined to the network. But I mean, they only run up and down, not very far at all, really. But I really do enjoy going. I've been there a few times actually, and
Mm.
that's definitely a really good visit out.
And
Uh,
from where you are, your local preserved line would actually be the Epping Ongar Steam Railway. Would I be right in thinking that?
I probably. I'm not well in tune with the local.
Well,
Um,
whereabouts is you're in Ruislip, aren't
yeah, I'm
you?
West London, so
So possibly Epping Ongar, possibly actually the Mid-Hants Railway, something like that.
oh, okay, yeah. I mean, the closest I've seen to preserved when I'm at work is some missing rails on an underground line. I've seen a couple. There's a couple of stations on the underground that people don't actually get to see, and
Down Street is one. That was the Winston
yeah,
Churchill's.
I think the Darkest Hour, or yeah, one of those films with the Winston Churchill in. Well, yeah, it's got all the old war cabinets and things in it as well.
Well, Down Street Station was closed to passengers, and I think it was either 1932 or 1934.
Yeah,
And when the Second World War came along, they used it for cabinet briefings because it was just a convenient location.
yeah,
It was deep underground, and presumably as well, there was ways and means to get on and off tube trains still. So
yeah.
you could actually travel all over London without needing to bob up above ground, which is probably great during air
Oh,
raids.
definitely, yeah, because he had all his little secret, as you say, all these secret tunnels. He could nip down from his office onto a platform that no one even knew existed.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, actually, what was intrigued me is there's a website called Subterranean Britannica,
Yeah,
which is, amongst other things, a lot of information on closed sections of the London Underground, and
yeah.
it's quite interesting how many closed stations and even lines in some
There's
places that there
I
are.
visit a lot of stations actually, and a lot of our kit that my company have installed in the underground are all in disused passages. So you go
Mm.
down there, you can see all the old posters and everything from when they were last in use. It's really amazing actually that some of the things that people don't get to
Yeah,
see.
because I suppose that once a tube station closes, there's no point in taking the posters down. So you can date when it was closed by
Yeah,
what posters are left there, and they all have that very ornate tiling,
yeah.
which has the name of the station. So you know exactly where you are because
Yeah,
there will be the name of the station, even if it's no longer in use.
I actually saw one, and because I fixed phone lines, and one of the disused platforms I went to actually had an old style ring telephone in it, but the phone line was going straight through it, so you couldn't actually use it, but it was still all in place. So obviously for filming and stuff like that, it's quite an interesting piece of kit to look at.
Well, is it Aldwych Station is still used as a film set?
Yeah, I think they've actually got trains sat in the platform, if I'm correct, an
Yeah,
old
because there
London
was.
Underground carriage.
Yeah, it's stock that was, I believe, withdrawn in the 1980s,
Yeah,
but they keep a set there because it's useful for filming.
yeah,
There's 2 platforms at the station, but only one is still in a usable condition.
Yeah.
And where the BBC do a lot of filming down there. So whenever you see a tube station on a television drama,
Yeah.
it's more often than not filmed at Aldwych Underground Station.
Yeah, and actually, I'll just go through the comments quickly and make sure. I have reduced my what do you call it, frames. So my camera should be it's coming through my OBS really a lot clearer now. I'm not as, if you could confirm.
Yeah, actually, I'm just looking at the picture. You're a lot smoother.
Okay, and if anyone was wondering, in the bottom right hand side of your screen, you can see here I've got a metal tree or wire tree, and it's for Peak 47's competition to build the best possible wire tree. So while I'm here, I've got some clay, and I'm just going in the background. I'm just going to be building this tree in case, probably not the clearest.
I saw something was posted on was it the World Scenic?
Yeah. They're running the competition as well. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I must admit, I keep meaning to have a go at that. Les Cliff, he built one for where you are. So I do have a tree. And it looks amazing, and I look at it and I think if I tried building that, it would just look like a length of phone cable.
I was about to say, I think because everyone's seen it, I don't think you'd get away with entering that into the competition. But
no. I mean, the thing is, I should tell Les about the competition because he'd be well in there. He'd be like, "Oh, great, an excuse to make more." But I mean, the effects that you can get with the wire trees are actually really amazing. I was talking to Ken Patterson, just What's Neat This Week podcast, and he was saying about you can the more you practice, you can reach a point where he says it's amazing to watch some people, and they can make such specific trees that you would recognise as being a beech tree, a silver birch tree, a Scots pine, a horse chestnut. And he says they get so good.
Oh God, I'm not at that advanced yet. I don't even know what type of tree this is coming along, but it's. I thought, as you say, just giving it a go for the first time what's the worst that can happen really, aside it looking awful.
Yeah. Because I must admit, I've experimented a lot with different ways of making trees, and the wire-based trees is one that I've not quite plucked up the courage to do.
Yeah.
But I do actually want to. And in fact, talking of World Scenics, I've been using some of their stuff. There's a video I've got coming out.
They're actually my stream sponsor for the day is World Scenics. I think they're in the chat.
I noticed that. Yeah. So it's good to mention. I've got a review on my channel coming out on Friday. And they were very, very kind enough to send over some products. And one of the things I've done, which actually isn't in that video, is I've been experimenting using sea moss. Is it sea moss or seagrass? I can never remember what it's called. But using that as the armature.
Yeah.
I used the. I'll just see if I can dig them out. It's not the finest grade of the foliage, but you can see it's got kind of like a texture to it.
Yeah.
And using that to stick to the
what's the name of that one? It's not coming up on the.
Just a light green foliage.
Light green foliage. Oh, okay.
So and it's fine, but not the finest. So it's got a kind of a texture to it. For trying to get a little bit out. And this is really great. Actually, it's going to go everywhere.
That's the thing with that stuff.
Yeah. But what I'm doing is just using some cheap hairspray and layering it onto the sea moss that you can get like this forest in a box. I think Gauge Master sell.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm looking. It's off camera, but I've got some that I've done over there. And they actually really do look amazing.
Well, you saw what I did with my embankment on the depot, and that was all World Scenics as well.
Yeah.
And I was really, really like sort of even I think the most. I'm not claiming to be a modelling expert, but some of their product it really did come to life in the short space of an hour.
And that's it. So a lot of these products they make doing the job really, really easy. And actually, whilst I'm on, I'll big up. One of my favourite products is the forest ground cover. So I've got some there, the World Scenics.
Okay, yeah.
And have you used this as well?
I haven't, no, but I think he is sending me out a small. I've got the embankment kit and a few of the static grasses as well as the layering glue and the spray glue.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I'm very unfortunate actually. I think I'm going to get my hands on the I think it's the precision applicator. I think it's the correct name for it, which is the smallest applicator you can get. Because sometimes, like for example, my tree diorama here, trying to use the big shaker to do anything round the bottom here would just cause a mess. It's going to be really interesting
yeah,
to have a test.
I know what you mean. It's like sometimes you need something that you can get in underneath the
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
without ending up coating the local area with static
yeah,
graphite. But yeah,
definitely.
this product, the forest ground cover, I use that underneath trees. So if you've got an area where you're going to have trees and bushes,
And the grass is
this
less
is,
likely to grow.
well, it's like the detritus that you
Yeah,
see in nature underneath bushes. So you've got like the dead wood, the dead leaves, and that build-up of organic matter that's come off the trees over many, many years.
yeah,
And it gives you a really good base texture. And whenever I do scenic stuff, I always say that in a lot of instances, the texture is as important as the colours. You know,
oh
you want a
definitely,
mix of
definitely.
colours, but you also want the mix of textures. And with this, you get a really nice organic kind of dead wood texture,
Yeah,
which works really well.
I think Woodland Scenics do. I don't know if you've seen the big box, or it's like a box of like foliage, and I found that super good for. I think I mixed a couple of bits of it into the embankment bits. I think it's the orange, olive green foliage, and
Oh yeah, I know. If you hold on one
I
moment, I'll
think
take a note.
yeah, I think you might have some as well.
Yeah, I've got most companies' products knocking about. So I'm guessing, are these the ones you're talking
Yeah, it's like
about?
them, but it's in a big plastic square box.
Yeah, these are in the
The
shakers,
shakers,
which
that yeah,
I find quite useful because you can kind of spoon the stuff out, or you can. It's a bit like the stuff that spices come in,
yeah.
so you can kind of just like shake out over a large area.
What I found, I think, I
Um,
think it was Everard Junction. He was saying as well when he's doing his scenery, you're using all of those different textures, and then when he hoovers them up, he puts all of them spare textures into a pot, and then he can use that as an entirely new texture, which is really
Yeah,
cool.
and one of the things as well I've done with the War World Scene Mix when I did the video, which you'll see on Friday,
Yeah,
is I actually pre-mixed a load of different stuff together. So I've got like a little plastic tub,
yeah.
and what I'm doing is with a teaspoon, you'd measure out different amounts of the different colours because nature is never uniform
No.
unless you go to somewhere like like Stately Home Gardens,
Yeah,
a really manicured garden. Nature is messy.
yeah,
So what I did was, I put some of the dark in, some of the green in, and try and get different sizes of granules as
yeah,
well. And that mixed it all up. And I put some static grass fibres in as well and mixed it up. And then I used that as my base layer of foliage to sprinkle. And that gives quite a nice, almost like a randomized
yeah.
uh, to the colours and the textures. And I find that that can be a much better way than I know some people. Maybe they'll just sprinkle one single colour and then go, oh, it doesn't look how I expected. And it's because you've got to build up this.
Those layers, you've got to get the
Yeah,
layers.
yeah, definitely.
But without giving too much away, what sort of diorama did you go for with the with the woodland scenic when testing, or was it on your layout?
I do pretty much everything straight onto Word
Yeah.
camera, which you could argue is like sooner or later you're going to have a real calamity. But I've got every faith in a lot of these products. If I was uncertain, I would test in a small, inconspicuous area. But
Yeah,
by and large, with railway modelling, confidence is the key. If you're confident you can sort anything out, then you can, go in hammer and tongs.
yes, definitely.
And it doesn't matter if it doesn't work out because you've got the confidence, like, oh, well, I can fix this. And actually, what you find is that pretty much every product you can bully into what you want it to do
Yeah,
if you have confidence in yourself.
and it's also about sometimes more less is more. Is that the right? I think that's the right phrase. Because
Yes. Don't try and crowd too much into an area at times. I think sometimes I've seen hillsides where they're like putting bushes on top of
but
other bushes, and when you go,
yeah,
it just looks like a bag of lichen, because it's just like there's too much there.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you can get a much better effect by having a feature tree where you have
Mm.
one tree that you've put a lot of effort in and like really made it very well detailed. And instead of crowding in loads of stuff around it,
Yeah.
make it a feature, and you can actually end up with a much better result than if you're just cramming in as much in the way of bushes and trees as you can.
Yeah. But I think, well, as you say, with that, the tree that Les did for you,
Mm.
that's all that scene is in that section, that area of the layout, and that
It's
that
the
alone
same.
can bring it the whole area to life.
Yeah, and it gives you a lot of great viewing angles as well
Yeah.
because by having the tree there, it forces you to either look at the model from certain preset angles,
Yeah.
or indeed even. Oh, excuse me, I've got a gas in my coat. The other thing as well is
Yeah.
viewing the trains through the tree, and you get a much better sense of the landscape of distance because you're seeing the tree through the branches.
Yeah.
Sorry, seeing the train through the branches.
Let's. I'll just go through a couple of the comments because I realised that we've got 54 people in here. They're absolutely flying by at the moment. Um, James says, Ollie, a scenery tutorial will be handy. Well, Jenny's got one coming out soon. And if you do go back further on my channel, you'll see I've done a static grass tutorial and a couple of other tutorials as well. But I think an updated one's definitely due once I've got my hands on especially the precision applicator. I think that'd be a great little tool to show off.
Mm.
And WW Scenic says, as Scenic says, with static grass, if you make a mistake, it turns out to be a good idea.
Yeah, I totally go with that. And it's with building up grass. I've been short of just like scooping a big shovelful and just going on the layout.
Yeah.
You can't make a mistake with it because what you're wanting to do is build up layers and colours. So if you're not happy with the colour that you've got, go over it again. Pick a different length of fibre. Pick a slightly different colour. And you're slowly building up this very natural looking landscape, and you can get some great effects.
And what I found actually with static grass especially is the bags you get it in, it goes such a long way. I found that if I have made a mistake and I need to take it up, you don't normally get through static grass too quickly, if you know what I mean. Like it does spread out a fair amount. So if you do make a mistake, then it's
I have to give a confession here. I've never used the static grass applicator.
Really?
No, never. So everything that you see of Weir Yard has been laid using the static generated from my finger and thumb, going like this with a little piece and like just another one and going like this. And people might say, "Oh well, there you're not getting the best out of it." But
rule one.
Steve Flint and Kathy Miller couldn't tell the difference until they were told. They thought I'd applied it with a static grass applicator. They went, actually, no, I didn't. But don't get me wrong, if I had a static grass applicator, it would probably be my favourite tool, but I don't actually have one.
Yeah, I did have a bit of a bodge one off eBay, but I never found it to have any real good results. But then I obviously got my hands on the WWS Scenics one. And if anyone wanted to go back and look at my static grass tutorial, I think that can only prove how good having a static grass applicator really is.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit that it is something that's on my hit list of things what I need to buy. The list is quite long, and when I look at my basket on a well-known internet and mail order retailer, there's about £2,500.
Oh my!
Basket, and it's like I need to economise.
No, I think everyone in the chat will have the same issue, especially with being in at the moment. You kind of find yourself dragged to those websites in a way. You kind of do the round robin of you go on the Facebook Marketplace and then you go to all the various pages on the internet.
Do loads of window shopping, and the killer is somebody will post on a Facebook group or on an internet forum about, hey, there's such and such a shop's got a good deal on with some bargain, and you find yourself
actually,
going,
yeah.
Oh my God, this model that I'd never heard of up until now and was never on my radar is suddenly in my basket being bought, and you're buying it because it's cheap.
Someone in the chat's actually bad for that. Gareth, who I've just sold my Ginty to because I'm going to get the 121 or the 20 or both. He every day I get a message from him almost every day with something that I've missed, and he sends me a link, and I just sit there like, no, can't.
Come get your candy.
Yeah, it's all far too tempting. Huh?
You've-
The O gauge, yeah, I've put the O gauge Ginty out because I've got the parcels, the 33 and the 03, I believe it is, with the side plates, and I'm going to
Yeah.
I'm using the money from the Ginty to get the 121 when it comes out. As
I must say, Ginty is one of the locos that I really want.
oh well, I unfortunately it was first come first served. Otherwise, I could have put your name in the hat.
I'll be honest, don't get me wrong. I've got an O-gauge garden layout that realistically you can only run one locomotive at a time, and I think my O-gauge loco collection's currently at, I think it's 8 locos.
Oh, you still got 4 more than me.
Yeah, I mean, like.
And you've just had a new edition, haven't you?
I've just got this. It arrived in the post.
That is, I'm so jealous.
Yeah, so that's the new Daypol 14XX Auto tank, and that's I've not filmed the review, but that's here to be reviewed. So it's currently sat on my programming track for want of somewhere else to put it, because my own gauge layout up in the loft is like a small
diorama type.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's an operatable diorama, but it's not that big, and that's tucked away underneath. But it's not conducive to actually posing stock on it.
Yeah.
I say that, and I've got one of my Akira scale HUO hoppers sat there for some reason. I keep needing to take it back down to the.
I think if Scrapline's in the chat at the moment, he'd love to get his hands on one of them, because if you've seen his he did a video recently where which I didn't realise that it's such a simple technique, but if you apply paint to something and then scratch the paint off after you've applied it and then add a bit of rust, it's such a simple thing to do, but I had no idea about it, adding certain layers of rust and things to coaches.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different weathering techniques, which is surprisingly easy and surprisingly effective. So that's one of my Hornby. I don't know how well this is going to show up.
It's coming through clearly on the OBS.
And that's done just with literally just Humbrol rust weathering wash. That's all that's been used. And the method on that, I think Hornby's put the video up on their YouTube channel last week, I think. And in essence, what you do is you paint the whole wagon in the rust weathering wash, and then put it to one side for. With this one, I left it to one side for about 3 days.
Yeah.
But then it dries like paint. But then if you get dirty brush cleaning fluid, and then a very tiny amount on the brush, and you get like a small stiff bristled brush, and then you can just kind of scrub at it.
I gotta say, because that paintbrush cleaner can be quite aggressive if you use a little bit too much.
Yeah, if you put too much on, it just turns the rust wash back into a rust wash, which is not what you want. You end up with it all being smudgy.
Yeah.
But if you have the tiniest amount of solvent on the brush, we're talking so little that if you rubbed it on a piece of paper, nothing much would come off.
Yeah.
And then you kind of scrub at the weathering wash. It starts to take it off in a pattern that ends up. You end up with kind of almost like with a reverse rusting effect.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is you're taking the rust off the paint and making it look like that's the paint that hasn't yet flaked off, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like as you say, reverse idea.
And of course, you don't need an airbrush. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I would do weathering, but I don't have an airbrush, or I don't feel confident, or airbrushes are too expensive. And actually, there's a lot of great weathering effects you can do without ever needing.
It's funny you say that, actually. Kevin in the chat just says, I like Jenny's video on weathering as I don't have an airbrush. The scrap line is very good too. Yeah, I must admit, obviously, I did eventually invest in an airbrush, but a lot of my weathering to start with was just powders, just a brush and powders, and that's. That's.
Another thing. I mean, I don't have a static grass applicator, never have had, and I've never had and don't have an airbrush either. So.
Is that something on the list in the far future?
Static grass applicator, yes.
Definitely, yeah.
Airbrush, no. I'll be honest with you. I've never yet felt that there was a task where I thought, oh, I just so wish I had an airbrush.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen of them, a lot of people say they can be quite messy. You really need to be careful when you use them. Otherwise, you'll be weathering an item of rolling stock, and then you look up and there's like this fine mist of weather over the
I've had that a couple of times actually.
Yeah, it's a bit like those things you use to paint your fence, the spray-on stuff.
Yeah.
I tried one of those. I painted my fence in the back garden, and when I went round to the front, my car was all speckled.
Oh no!
It drifted on the wind. And I thought, yeah, it makes painting the fence easier, but then you have to spend the next 2 hours
repainting your car.
It off your car.
Well, let's have a quick look. Oh, WWS Scenic says we've got weathering powder. It's great if you're starting weathering for the first time. If you don't like it, wash it off. And I think that's a good way to get into it actually, because obviously when you say airbrush, people think, oh well, that's if I do something wrong, that's the end of it.
But yeah, I mean, weathering powders are really good. I've used the stuff I've used in the past is stuff like Tamiya weathering powders. I mean, back when I started, they were probably the only ones I knew of on the market. I'm an old fogey, so that's like 25 years ago.
Yeah.
The other thing as well, which I've used, is really cheap and nasty eyeshadow. The stuff that isn't sparkly, but you get like the browns and the greens.
I think if I used Tian's eyeshadow, I think I'd be even more in the doghouse than I am already with the hairspray.
I had loads of these things that you get when you're younger.
Yeah.
Like a free gift with Ella magazine and stuff like that, and it'll be some cheap and nasty eyeshadow. You put it on yourself, you look like Dame Barbara Cartland.
Yeah.
But actually, some of these are a really cheap way of experimenting with weathering powders.
Yeah.
The different shades of browns, the different shades of green, and you can experiment. And like you say, if you don't like it, you can wash it off. And it's only when you're happy with it, you kind of spray over with a matte varnish and just to kind of seal it, and then you sorted it. But up until that point that you seal it, it's practically a blank canvas. You can do what you look.
I'll just say, if anyone hasn't said, missed anyone saying hello in the chat, we've got 54 people watching at the moment. So if you'd like to drop any questions in or anything you particularly want to talk about, feel free to drop them in the comments. A few people have said, if I just go back and say hello, Effingham, welcome to the stream. I think I missed so many people in the first 20 minutes of carnage that sorry, go on.
I just said it's a lot of names I recognise, but actually a lot of names I'm not familiar with. So you've got a good turnout here. And Flymo Chairman 1, yes, absolutely. Don't forget to ping the like button and share the stream too. Let other people know that we're live at the moment, and more the merrier. Everybody is welcome.
Someone's just saying, J94 is saying, I would try weathering, however, might do horribly wrong. Yeah, I think there is, especially with the amount you spend on locos these days as well. There is that sort of barrier as it is just from the cost of the loco.
And I think we've all seen on places like eBay, there'll be that one listing, and you look at it and you think, what have you done? And it'll be a lovely, expensive model, and it looks like they've got a 2-inch paintbrush and just daubed it in tar. And I think that a lot of people maybe have that in the back of their mind and think, what happens if like my really expensive £200 model ends up looking like it's just been dipped in tar?
And ends up being a laughing stock on the old Facebook groups, and when people think...
what you've got to tell yourself is that as long as you follow some basic steps, it's actually the risk of doing that is negligible to nil.
Yeah.
So like WW Scenics has said, you use the weathering powders. If you're not happy with it, you can wash it off. And again, with the Humbrol rust washes that I used on those 21-ton hopper wagons, if you don't actually like the effect, you can just get yourself some white spirit and just wash the wagon.
And it'll be off in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and it will take everything off. You can clean the wagon. Even now, if I took one of those wagons, and they stand up to handle it, but if I just chucked them in a ice cream container full of white spirit, I can wash all the weathering off and take them back to looking like they come out of the box. So, you can, if you don't like the effect you've got, you can actually go back and start again. It's not a huge issue.
And of course, some people do weathering so well actually that when people are selling their locos, you add a lot of value if you can do it well to your loco if it's pre-weathered.
Yeah, a professionally, weathered to a professional standard.
Yeah, standard. Sorry,
There's a huge market for that, and I've seen some amazing weathering jobs. But it's a lot of it's about practice.
Yeah.
If you can find some cheap old wagons, the stuff that you find in the bargain bins at Model Road.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a big tub that everyone's rummaging through. Just pick something out the bottom of that for a quid.
Stuff where it's like any four for £1.
Yeah.
And you use them to practice on. And it's actually, sometimes you can see weathering jobs that people have done with like old Hornby railroad wagons. And they've actually made what to most people would just be a toy. They've made it look amazing. And you think, if you could do that with a railroad wagon, just think of the effect you could do with a really good quality wagon.
Exactly.
They're a really great way of practicing. And like so many things, the more you practice, the better you get at it, and the more confidence you get.
Let's get some. We've got some questions coming in here now. Josh's training room says, "What is your favourite model you own?" Mine is the Hatton 66789. So, Jenny, would you like to start? I think.
I always say it's the same one, but it's the H1 Marsh Atlantic in London Brighton South Coast Railway livery.
Do you have that? Do you have that with you at the moment?
I do. Yeah. Just give me one moment.
Yeah.
I will grab it off the shelf.
New Mill says, "Nice trunk. Thank you very much." Yes, my tree diorama's slowly taking shape. The clay's actually drying as I'm putting it on here, so I'll have to go get some water in a minute to wet it out. But
so here we are. It's a little bit of a handful. So that's my personal favourite locomotive.
Very nice.
France, in LBSC number 39, it's this lovely burnt umber livery, and I think it's such a beautiful locomotive.
Have you modified that to DCC, or is that just the original analog?
Everything that's up here is DCC. I've got, I think I've got about 185 locos.
Oh my.
But my entire collection is over 200 locos. But the ones which aren't DCC fitted are either models which are just for in display cabinets and would be impractical to fit. They'd have to be hard ones. Or ones which, for whatever reason, they've got a fault that I cannot deduce. But I've got a Helgen Class 14, which was a Hatton's limited edition in load hall livery.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what I do, it does not run properly at all.
Do you say that was from Hatton's?
Yeah, but years ago. It's when they came out. And then I've also got a Hornby Super Detail Garter Blue A4. And there's a mystery short. It works absolutely fine on DC. But whenever I put a chip in, it'll trundle around, and then in the middle of nowhere, it'll just short the layout out. And when you reset the layout, off it goes.
Is it over points, or is it?
No, it's just anywhere it chooses.
Oh, so something to do with the chassis then, rather than the.
Yeah, there's an intermittent short, and they're the worst kind.
Yeah, that is annoying.
They're never there when you're looking for them.
Yeah. J94 says, Ollie, I bought Hornby Railways Britannia that someone tried weathering. It was virtually BR black and it can easily come off. So yeah, that's true as well. That people might sell things thinking that they've reduced the value on it, and then all you've got to do is tidy it up a little bit, and you're back to where it was.
I've seen that before. I remember seeing, I think it was a Hornby Super Detail Class 50.
Yeah.
That looked like somebody had just weathered it with a 2-inch house brush and bitumen paint. I mean, it looked horrible. But when you looked at it closely, it was apparent that actually you could probably clean that off, and you would end up with actually quite a nice model for a hugely knocked down price. And there used to be a product called Model Strip. I don't know whether they still sell it.
I can't say I've heard of it.
They used to advertise in the back of pages of the Railway Modeller, and it's like this white paste. I used it myself because it's really great if somebody's tried repainting their model and made a hash of it. And I can remember buying, back in the day when it was considered a good model, I remember buying a replica Railways Class 3 shunter
Yeah.
that somebody had painted into plain BR green, and it was a horrible mess. And I just put this stuff, it's like a white paste, you put it on, put it in a plastic bag so it didn't dry out, and just leave it overnight. And it took all of this paint that somebody had repainted
Back to
this
the bare
logo
bone,
on.
or just completely?
I think what? Sorry.
Back, was it to the original colour it was, or was it good to the
To
shell?
the original finish,
Oh wow.
even down to the point it still had the original transfers on, the original wasp stripe. So what actually came out of the bag was 03371 in BR rail blue with wasp stripes. Even like had all the overhead
Oh
warning
wow.
flashes, everything underneath was there, and of course the paint that had been daubed over the top
Yeah.
had acted like a protective layer. So there actually wasn't any damage to the original finish because it had been protected by this horrible gloss paint that they daubed it with.
Gloss paint, did you say?
Yeah, they'd been like gloss green. Like
Oh my gosh.
green, and it would have been something like they'd have used Humbrol number 3, which is gloss Brunswick green.
I've always tended to swerve more towards the rail match colours. That's why if I've ever tried to respray anything, I've used the rail match colours.
Yeah, no, I've got I've used rail match rail blue is a colour that I've got, and crimson lake. But
Yeah.
I'm very much a person stuck in my ways. I'm on the wrong side of 40, and I'm one of those people that I've always done it like this. So I've got a huge, great big tin down here. I'll just dig it out so I can rattle my colours. And this is, like 40 years worth of picking up.
Oh
paint.
my! Yeah, I'm sure some of them must have dried out by now.
No, one of my tricks, and I'm going to see if I can find it. Here we are. When you've finished with a tinlet,
Yeah.
I've got a little G clamp and 2 pieces of wood, and the lid back on, and then you turn it upside down, give it a shake, and leave it like that, and they never dry out because the lid seals back just like it was new.
Okay.
And all you need is a tiny little G clamp and 2 bits of wood. If you don't use the bits of wood, the G clamp will crush the tin and distort it, and then you're opening up a whole other problem. And I've always found this to be a foolproof way of resealing the tins.
Yeah.
So that's like the lid's gone all the way back in, and that's sealed like it's brand new. You can chuck it back in the box, and that will not dry out now. It might separate, so you've got to really
mix it up. Yeah, I've had that a couple of times.
I mean, I've got, there you are. I mean, that's a blast from the past. That's Humbrol enamel. That's a tin from the 1990s.
And it's still going strong.
Ooh. Yeah, I can still hear it sloshing around in there. So that's, if anybody wonders, because Humbrol do change the tin design, that's what they look like in the 1980s and 1990s, and that tin is still good to go.
Yeah.
Because they replaced it with, you can see there, the Humbrol colour misspelt without the U, and then they went to Humbrol enamel, but with that type of thing, and then where's the super enamel, and then they went to with the light blue. So there's
that's the most recent one, I think, isn't it?
There's I mean, there's some colours in here you can't get anymore, because the metallic paints. They're rubbish. The new metallic, they're rubbish. So there we are, metallic number 56. That's a colour you can't get anymore.
Do you ever buy them in those sets? You can get like those sort of sets that you get in like Airfix kits and things. You get like the 4 or 5 colours if there's a particular colour you're looking for, but it's only in that set.
No, it's a very expensive way of buying them, I found. I'm just looking somewhere in here. I should, and like I said, lent it to my dad. My dad's building some stuff at the moment. There's one particular colour. I cannot find it anywhere. As far as I can tell, Humbrol stopped making it in the 1990s. It's number 108.
Human
not here.
City says Jenny must have quite the collection of modelling accessories and tools and parts.
Very much. I mean, what you've got to remember is everything I've got, that's like 35 years
Yeah.
of building it bits and pieces, so it's not all bought at the same time. If you were trying to, I mean, these things, they're like a couple of quid each these days. I mean, that one, I bought that back in the days when they were 49 pence each.
I think they're about £1.50 now, I think, on a good day.
Yeah. I mean, I can remember them being about 49 pence to tin.
Wow.
But what I used to do was I'd get an Airfix kit and you buy 1 or 2 paints,
Yeah.
but then you slowly built up this stash, so you know that, like, well, I've already got that colour, I've already got that colour, so if I buy a couple of paints to go with it, I like expanding my repertoire of different colours. But some of the tools and stuff I've got go back way back, and materials as well. So I've got.
I've seen your collection of tools and materials in those drawers, absolutely rammed.
Yeah, I mean, there's just looking at this like stuff that I've just picked up over the years.
Yeah.
And tail ends of projects, you'll have a bit of stuff left over.
Yeah.
We stick it in there. Never throw anything away.
Yeah, if you just want to talk to the chat quick, I'm just going to go grab some water because the clay's drying up quicker than I can put it down.
All right, no worries. So let's have a look. What have we got in the chat room? Just going back a little bit. Steve Harper, hi Gareth. Has it got Oliver's house tour on it? I think that's an answer to something else. James Akers, Ollie, a scenery tutorial would be handy. I'm getting close to starting my scenics after never doing them before. Scenics are quite easy. It's like I say before, confidence. You've got to have confidence in yourself that you can just sort it out. And actually, what you'll find is that a lot of scenic techniques are quite easy to pick up. Let's have a look. Oh, you're back.
Oh, I'm back. Sorry. Yeah.
I think I've gone back. We've already covered some of those.
We've got nearly 60 people watching at the moment, so huge thanks to everyone for tuning in. By the way, I really do appreciate everyone taking their time out on a. I know there's probably been a lot of live streams recently, but it's all keeping everyone entertained while we're still kind of stuck inside.
WWC Nick's actually asked, do you think both think people are spending more time on the scenery of their layouts now? I think they are.
I think so as well.
I think that it's one of the things that the lockdown has done is that it's focused people into putting a lot more time into their hobbies. Obviously in our case, model railways. And I've seen a lot of people finally tackling projects
that they've had at the back of their mind for the last however long.
It's like, I'll get round to that eventually, and suddenly you've got this time on your hands. And I think it's a good thing, because the enemy of us all is boredom. And if you didn't have a great creative hobby, you'd be stir crazy by now.
Definitely.
Railway modelling has been that lifeline for so many people.
Yeah.
I think it's great. The community's really pulled together.
100%.
With like live streaming, but also people sharing ideas, and I'm seeing on a lot of the Facebook groups people posting what they're doing and like
very inspiring. Very, very inspiring.
More so than we had before the lockdown.
Yeah, Gareth said, love the tree so far. It is very Lord of the Rings. I'm not really going for any particular thing. I'm just kind of seeing where my imagination takes me.
So I got. What wire that you're using as the core? What wire do you actually start out with?
I'll tell you what. I think this is garden wire. I'm sure this is some type of garden wire. But it was kind of just like whatever you can get your hands on at the moment, especially with you can't really get to any shops to sort of get any material. So I just had a look in the garage and there was loose bits of wire, and I've kind of sort of assembled something. But,
so is it like a multi-core wire? Then?
Oh, single. This is single core wire. This is.
So is that the same as like you'd have in a piece of mains cable, something like that?
Yes, something along them lines.
So how do you get the branches themselves? I can't see you on the big screen. I'm just going to have to look on my phone.
Yeah, what I've done is I've got a load of them and screwed them into the base of the wood, and then I've twisted the wood round to sort of make this sort of cylinder around the middle. And then as I've got my way up, I've just been bending them off till I've got this weird sort of tree-like shape, and then I'm going to use a lot of the... Have you seen the Woodland Scenics polyfiber type stuff? That's probably what I'm going to go with as sort of a base layer, then use scatter on top, I think. But
when you say the Woodland Scenics polyfiber, is that the clump foliage?
It's like a soft cotton almost, and you can sort of...
I don't know. I'm just seeing... No, it's just out of shot. I'm trying to see. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But there's no tree in shot. If
I know. I think I know what you mean, because the Woodland Scenics trees use the similar product. I think on their pre-made trees.
The ones that you buy ready-made.
Yeah.
But then there's also you've got the clump foliage, and I know I've used a lot of the. I'm trying to big up your sponsor here. I used a lot of the. Where's it gone? I think I've used it all actually. It was such a great product. I've used it all. It was the clump foliage.
Yeah.
It's the red berry clump foliage, the dark olive green clump foliage, and flower foliage. And it's really great for if you get those twistable, posable tree armatures.
Yeah.
You can build up some really nice trees with that. So I've used that to kind of make lower bushes, and it's a bit like now that's underbrush. So I've got bushes here from Woodland Scenics, and this is.
Is that quite clumpy, or is that?
Is it what? Sorry.
Is that quite clumpy, the stuff you've got there, or is it fairly fine?
It's a much bigger fibre size, and actually, I topped this up, and I made the mistake of topping it up with a not quite so coarse stuff. So there's some big clumps at the bottom, and they get a bit smaller towards the top. But I've also got, you can buy refill packs. Where have they gone?
Are they refill packs that actually fill the bottle, or are they just
No, not unless you get a couple of them. So, there's one of the refill packs, and you can see there's some quite big chunks.
Yeah. And
they're great for little bushes as well as trees. But Wardle Scenics do similar ranges of stuff as well. And I know Woodland Scenics can be quite expensive.
It really can.
I think basically because it's made out in the US, and then it has to be shipped back to the UK and go through back in the UK who are the distributor. So I suspect that bumps the price up.
Langton Road says, what's folks' favourite part of layer building? Is it the woodwork, construction, track laying, electrics, or scenics? Now, I must admit, I don't like ballasting. I think my favourite part is probably the sort of the final scenery. Like as pretty much. I think the scenery. Ballasting's my least favourite. But
for me, electrics is my least favourite.
Really, I'm a huge electrics.
I love ballasting. I find ballasting very relaxing. But I think every aspect of building a model railway is enjoyable in a kind of different way.
Yeah.
I get enjoyment out of every aspect of the building. I love doing the woodwork because for me, you're creating this blank canvas upon which you can build whatever you want.
Yeah.
And I love the sense of anticipation. There's like, I can, I build this in, and then it will become this other thing. Building the framework.
Yeah.
Underneath bridges and viaducts and mountains, and that kind of sense of like, what can this become? But equally, I love doing the actual scenic layer. I love it when things transform.
I was going to say, that's as you say, when you're looking at the blank baseboards and you've got that sort of vision of what you want, but then you go to the opposite end when you're doing the scenery, and that's where you're like, it's coming to life.
Very much. Your model railway is transforming from this almost lunar landscape of like bare plaster and bare plywood, and it's slowly transforming into the miniature world that you actually want it, and that is also very gratifying.
Yeah.
I like track laying. I find track laying is quite exciting because you're starting to figure out where the tracks are going to go, and you can start to see. I think that's the point that you start to see the model railway.
Definitely, yeah.
Start to come to life because you can see where the trains are going to go. if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. A lot of people are
Different
saying,
way.
a lot of people are agreeing with you with the electrics. Not many people seem to like electrics here.
I see. The thing about electrics is I can do them, analog electrics very much so, but I find it tedious,
Yeah.
really tedious.
Thing is, as a trade, I'm a telecoms electrician, so it's kind
So
of
you
sort
must like it a little
yeah,
bit as
it's
well.
kind of sort of back of the hand knowledge that I just kind of just get on with it
Yeah.
and
But
does
at
it
the end
does
of the day, if you hated doing electronics, you're really making a run for yourself with your profession.
definitely yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, it's I love as well the like the fine detailing, and that's the stage that I'm at with Weir Yard, where you've got something that to most people who come up here, they look at it and go, it's a finished model railway, but you're adding that extra
I was gonna
depth.
say when I visited it, I did think in my head like this is complete. But every time you've done a stream or video, you know you've added signal boxes, you've done the back
Yeah.
scene, and it just keeps evolving.
And I think no model railway is truly complete. You
No,
can always
no.
add to it. Next time you come and visit, when you see the back seat that Les Cliff has done for me, it's like I was comparing photographs of the before and after,
Yeah,
and I couldn't believe
the
how
transformation.
yeah it looked before. But before I'd seen the new back seat, it's like yeah that looks great, and then the new back scene went in, and it's like actually it didn't look great. It looked rubbish before. And it's like some of these things like that. You do something, you think, how did I think it was good before I did
Yeah.
this?
WWS Scenic says, believe it or not, he says he loves landscapes. What's the chances of that? Eh?
Well, landscapes are great. I must admit, I really enjoy. In fact, out of all of Weir Yard, the bits that I enjoy building the most are the kind of the Langdale landscape, which is over there where my hand is flailing around wildly, so you can't see on the screen. But it's I've got what I refer to as Jablite Mountain, and it's a huge mountain. And
Yeah.
doing the scenery on that,
Oh,
and the
is that sorry? Is
landfall
that the
in
one
front
going
of
up? Is that the one to the left of the military base? Yeah.
yes, yeah. I refer to it as Jablite Mountain because what's actually inside there is an awful lot of offcuts of the Jablite insulation
Yeah.
that went into the loft conversion. Nothing goes to
I was going to say,
waste.
yeah. Don't waste. No need to waste it.
Yeah. And actually, the hillside on the opposite corner, so into the far corner, that's built up on offcuts of Jablite, and I really enjoyed building up that scenery.
Yeah.
It's probably if I had to pick one bit of building Weir Yard which I enjoyed the most, it's that. A part of me is a little bit disappointed that there's no more epic scenery left to
Really.
build up. It's like I really fancy
You've not thought maybe there's one small corner of a layout you can maybe squeeze a tiny little mound or hill in.
there's nothing. Believe me, there's nothing. I've checked. Although one of the things that I do, every model railway that I've ever built fixed into a building,
Yeah.
the bit in the middle where you sit slowly gets smaller as
Yeah.
I extend the baseboards. Now,
I think you said it was. What was it? Was it? You say it was the distance between you and the wall. What was that? It's a fair distance with the sort of the yard area. Yeah.
yeah, I can't actually reach the far corner. Just behind me, over my shoulder,
Yeah.
the buildings that are in that far corner are almost impossible to reach. I actually have to take the stock off of the front
Yeah.
and lean over and hope I don't break anything in the process. And even then, I cannot touch the far corner. I think I actually put it in with a stick and like sort of slowly push.
How long ago was that?
Probably about 8 months ago.
Oh, okay. So it's not. They've not been there since the start.
I mean, this time last year, there was not an awful lot up here.
Yeah.
I started building this, I think it was either February or March last year. And
Yeah.
I included converting the room. May have been about February, and I started doing the loft conversion. And I worked very, very quickly.
Yeah.
I always do. I think it's born out of impatience, which is making a rod for my own back because I like building things. So I then rush. Oh no, I've built everything. And I end up sort of stewing like thinking about other projects.
But as you say that you haven't stopped. You're still adding to the layout.
Yeah, I mean it's quite a big layout, so there is still a lot of scope for detailing and improving. And at the moment, that's in the form of the back seam.
Yeah.
I've also got from my channel sponsor, Trainomatic,
Yeah.
NBC modules. So I've got some in little bags here,
Yeah.
and they're waiting to be plumbed into the electrics. I did a video for Rails of Sheffield on the water tower.
Oh, I did see that. It was a very, very good video.
Oh, thank you. And the stuff like that's gone in,
Yeah.
which was great.
Is there a worry that you're gonna get things like that one day and you're gonna think there is nowhere to put this?
I must admit, actually, when they said, "Can we want to send you this water tower because we really want a video that shows it in situ on a model railway and that showcases it to its max." There was a part of me thinking, I wonder where I'm going to put it, because I was originally thinking of putting it in the yard area, but then I thought actually there was like a little, it's like a little shunter siding.
Yeah, no, it looks like it's meant to be there. Yeah, it definitely looks like it's meant to be there.
And I realised actually it was the perfect location because it wouldn't make sense in the TMD.
No.
Because there's an actual water tower there. So why would there be a parachute style tank? Well, because there's a water tower. So all that needs is like little water cranes.
Yeah.
Which again are on the list of things that I need to put in. I need to put a diesel refueling point in as well. I keep looking.
I was going to say you had diesel sitting outside that water tower, didn't you, in your Monday stream?
Yeah, because when the layout is being run in its rail blue guys.
Yeah.
That little shunter siding becomes home to my collection of class 3 and class 7 shunters.
Yeah.
So they look a bit incongruous next to the water tower at the moment. Actually, it's not too bad. I mean, it just looks like they never took it out when, when all the steam locos disappeared.
Just a New Junction's just joined us, and Tim from FMR, and Timber Surf. Thank you all for tuning in.
Hello to everybody.
New Junction says that looks like the White Tree of Gondor. No, yeah, it will get painted, I promise. It's just a clay base at the moment. And Tim says he actually probably only runs one train a month compared to the amount of actual sort of creative side, the sort of the building side of it. And that is the case with a lot of people, I think, actually. Like you end up spending more time making the area look good than it does for the train to run through it.
Yeah. And actually, it's something I've made no bones about this. I don't actually get a lot of enjoyment out of running or playing trains.
Yeah.
Which is why one of the things you probably the eagle-eyed notice on the Monday Club is that nothing has moved since the last
Monday Club. Yeah.
So if you look closely at the sidings, not a single wagon has invariably moved, and quite often. I've only changed the trains that are running round literally in a couple of hours before the Monday Club because I thought, I had them on last week.
Someone's going to notice, yeah.
I mean, the trains at the moment up here are in the position that I stopped them after the Monday Club stream. They're just sat there. I haven't run anything since.
Which is a shame because you've got more trains than I think people have had hot dinners. So.
Yeah, and like I said, it's about just over 200 locomotives, of which 185, something like that, are DCC fitted.
Yeah.
And I don't really get. I'm not one of these people who can sit and shunt trains. I hate shunting trains. I find it so tedious and boring.
Yeah.
But at the same token, just having trains going around in a circle, I get bored really quickly. I just want to build things.
Scrap. Yeah, I was just saying the scrap line as well said I've not run anything for ages. A few people actually saying that they've not really run many things. Flymo Chairman says it's starting to take a look good. The oak tree now. Ollie, thank you very much. Chris says, does that mean you don't move also, Jenny?
No, I don't what, sorry?
You don't move. So if the trains don't move after the Monday Club, do you just sit there then until next...
I sit here and then occasionally stop Les from climbing out from the dungeon.
And then you get Cupboard Monkey to bring your food up for you and then...
I'll be honest, actually. So from this evening, after I come off the stream with you,
Yeah.
I probably won't step foot back up here until Sunday.
Why is that? Just nothing to get on
Because
with?
I've been at work. I work very, very long shifts.
Yeah, I'm back at work on Thursday, so I've been lucky actually to get this Tuesday off.
I mean, quite often I can work anywhere up to a 15-hour shift.
Oh, Jesus, that's a long old
So
time.
you're coming home and literally you come home, sleep, and then go back to work. Now,
Yeah.
classed as I am an essential key worker. If I don't go to work, then there's no food for you to buy in supermarkets. I'm probably not that important. I'm a very, very tiny cog in a massive machine with lots of redundancy, but even so.
But obviously, you need that cog. That cog needs to turn, otherwise the rest of them won't.
Yeah, I'm the squeaky wheel in the machine.
Let's have a look at some. Peaks47 is watching. Sad's probably got his ruler out already. James says 200 locos, Jenny. I've only got 40 or 50. 40 or 50 is still a lot for the average.
That is still a lot. I mean, what you've got to remember is that I'm a bit of an old fogey. So I've been buying locomotives for a very long time. So it's not like I just, like yesterday, I went down to Rails of Sheffield.
Picked up 10 locos.
200. It's not like that. So the super, when I say 200 locos, that's my modern collection. So that's like the modern super detail models.
Yeah.
That doesn't include the 40 or so locomotives from my childhood, which do still exist and tend to live in display cabinets downstairs and over at my parents' house. They're things like old Hornby 003 rail.
Yeah.
In that 200, I don't ever count those because they would never run up here.
I'd actually seen someone who converted a fairly modern O-gauge loco to third rail, and I didn't realise it was pretty much a matter of just putting a contact strip in the middle of the of the loco.
Modern locomotives are quite easy to convert to third rail pickup.
Yeah.
The problem is going the other way. Old Hornby 00 doesn't like DCC chips because what you find is that the really old motors do pull quite an ampage and they will blow DCC decoders.
I had that with my O-gauge 33, the kit built one. That the train, if you put a chip, if you try to run it analog on the DCC, it'd put too much power into it, the motor would just start smoking. So right. I actually had to hardwire a chip into that. Otherwise, it wouldn't have run on DCC at all. Like it wouldn't even run on the analog. You know how to get the controller, you run it on 000 or whatever it was. That alone was.
I've never done that.
Have you not? Don't do it. Don't do it.
I've been told that can be quite damaging to motors.
Yeah, no, I completely. My motor started smoking, and I had to fully replace the whole thing.
Yeah. What I've been told is they may. Even though there is that theoretical function, you really don't want to use it.
Yeah, I learned the hard way.
DC and DCC just they don't mix.
New Junction says 15 hours part timer.
That's per day, not per week.
Yeah, I do about 12 hours, but after night shift, as you say, I come in. Well, including travelling, it's about 14 and a half. But once you come in,
plus I'll do an hour's commute.
Commute, yeah. But I find you get in, you go to sleep. By the time you wake up, it is virtually time to go again.
Yeah, if I have a busy week, I can easily because I work a 4-day week and have a 3-day weekend, and I can easily on a busy week, you've done 45 hours in the first 3 days. Yeah. 45. So what's that? Like nearly 60 hours in 4 days. If you ever try doing that is quite intense.
It's quite a hard routine to get into. I found anyway, especially when I was switching between the nights and days. I found the long shifts really sort of took a toll on you till you get used to it.
I used to work nights probably about 10, 12 years ago. I used to do a lot of nights. And it just made me ill. I could never cope with doing night shifts.
Yeah, it has taken a fair hit on my health.
Yeah, I gather if you do it for long enough, a lot of people adapt, and then they it works out quite nice with them.
Yeah.
But not for me. It just made I wasn't sleeping problem. I was properly, and I just it affected my appetite as well. I ended up putting on weight and all sorts. It just wasn't good.
James says, "What's your job, Jenny? If you would like to explain to those who don't know what you do."
I'm not allowed to tell you who I work for. It's actually in my contract. I'm not supposed to. It's not like I don't work for MI6 or something. But
You're not allowed to talk business.
I work in food logistics for a major supermarket chain. And my job involves travelling up and down the country to various different factories.
So they can put that to their imagination as to what major chain that could be.
Yeah, I'm Ronald McDonald. I have to go up and down the country to various different places. No, it's actually my contract. I'm not supposed to make a big thing about who I work for. God knows why.
Yeah.
It's the same when I worked in the civil service. They had a clause in the contract where you weren't supposed to admit to what you did, and it's like, but I work for the court service. Why? But that's like 15 or so years ago. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, but
after I left, they renamed the department because it was so destroyed after I'd left.
Let's have a look at what's going on. Has anyone got? We've still got 60 people watching, which is really good. Really good turnout. Thank you everyone for. Oh, Cottersmore, hello, late to the party. Well, thank you for joining us nonetheless. For anyone who has joined, I am just building a sort of a model tree here for a competition that Peaks 47 and WWS Scenics are running. So in case you wondered what that mess is I'm making on the table.
James Akers says, all right, I see, Jenny, I'm the kind of buyer who buys something to make a collection for a certain era. I have got my BR Blue and Great Eastern Railway locos for 1960s onwards being built at the moment, all for future projects. When I buy stuff, I was quite lucky. I mean, to go back to the locomotive thing, I started buying the modern super detail stuff in about the year 2000.
Yeah.
And back then, it was actually quite cheap, and I had a well-paying job. I worked back then for the BBC down in Manchester.
I was going to say down in Manchester. That's very up for me.
Yeah, it's like way up in the wilds of north, where we've got Whippet on a string and flat cappy, but no, from where I am, Manchester's down.
Yeah.
And so I had this well-paying job, and I still lived with my parents, and so I started buying a lot of models. And you could back then, things like when the Class 8 diesel shunter from Bachmann first appeared, I think I was paying £32 brand new in model shops for them.
£32, did you say?
£32. That's how much 08623 in rail blue cost me.
£32.
I bought it from probably from somewhere like Hattons.
Like I say, it wasn't Woolworths, was it?
No. But things like the Class 4 diesel shunter from Bachmann.
Yeah.
You could pick them up for about £25 brand new, and that's just what things cost. I found an old copy of the Railway Modeller from 2000, and it's interesting when you look through the adverts at what prices the back models used to be. You're talking 16-ton mineral wagons were £5.
That is mental.
Class 25s, 25279, which is a locomotive which is knocking about. I actually have that very model.
Yeah. And
it took me, I think that was £35 brand new.
That is mental. Can you imagine how many more locomotives people would have if that was, obviously you've got inflation and stuff, which is completely understandable, but the amount of locos that people, and the more people that would be getting into the hobby as well if it was still that affordable.
I used to think nothing. I used to come back from work at the BBC, and I would stop off at a model shop. It's sadly gone now, Farnworth Model Centre.
Yeah.
I go in and think nothing of buying a locomotive and a few wagons, and then I go home, and that was kind of how my collection built up. So by the time people started whinging about the prices getting astronomical,
Yeah.
I already had a huge collection, which was, very, very lucky. And I bought a lot of stuff second hand as
Yeah.
well. And if you shop around, you can get some amazing bargains
Well,
and deals.
that's the advantage of exhibitions as well, isn't it? And obviously people are missing out at the moment. Is that you do pick up one or two bargains from there.
Yeah, definitely. And also local model shops. I got a lot of bargains from Arcadia Models
Yeah.
over in Shaw. And he has this second-hand table. As you go in on the left in the shop, there's just a table. It's the second-hand stuff by the
Yeah.
till. And I always say it's priced to sell. He doesn't want it hanging about. It's not one of these shops where it's silly money and
Yeah.
just hangs around. Literally, it will change what's on there by the hour. As people trade stuff in, other people pick over it. And I've had stuff before now. I just happened to be there. Guys come in, trade stuff in, and I've picked over it before it's even gone out in the second hand, and I've seen other people do it.
Yeah.
And it is priced to sell. And I got some amazing deals by doing stuff like that.
James says, yeah, it's a bit weird to see how expensive the locos, etc. are nowadays compared to the past. There's a model shop down the road from me in Norfolk where the prices are good compared to Hatton's. I was going to say, yeah, you really can find some bargains in model shops, especially, ones that not many people know about and ones that are sort of trying to survive, have a little bit more on the line.
Sometimes as well you'll find some of the lower traffic model shops. The stock hangs around. So when, for example, Bachmann brings out its new range and all the prices have gone up by £10 or £20, you can find a shop that's got the previous version that'll be sold out everywhere else, but it's the same model, just a different running number.
Yeah.
And you can get that at the old price. And there was a shop in Bolton. Sadly, it shut down last year because the owner retired. But he had stock that was anywhere up to 15 or even 20 years. He'd had it on the shelves. So it was at the original price, but they never put the prices up. And I can remember going in there when Bachmann had just announced another run of the Class 411s, and the RRP was like 300 quid or so. And this model shop, he had them on the shelf at $79.99 from the very first release of the same model.
That's unbelievable.
You think, perfect. Go in there and grab yourself the model you want. I'm not in there myself. In fact, I'm not even sure. I think the only part of Norfolk I've ever been in is Wisbech, which is barely into Norfolk.
I was going to say that doesn't sound like the central Norfolk that down.
Wisbech is it has the Welcome to Cambridgeshire sign is in the outskirts of Wisbech. That's how close.
I was going to say there's still a fair way of travelling to get to the coast from there.
Oh yeah, I mean Norfolk's a huge county, and I've just not been to any of it.
Let's have a look at what the comments are saying. Bolton Model Railway Society. Thank you for joining us, Bolton Model Railway Society.
Big hello. How are you doing?
Bure Valley Models is the model shop for the good prices. It's based in Bure Valley Railway in, I'm not going to butcher that, Aylsham, Norfolk.
James Akers says Wisbech is more Peterborough. Yeah, when you go through, from up north, you go through Peterborough to get there, I think it's the A47. And you travel through Cambridgeshire until the very last bit. You get to the sign that says "Welcome to Wisbech," and underneath it says "Welcome to Norfolk" as well. And then you're there, and that's the only bit of Norfolk I've ever been in. It's one of the parts of the entire UK that I just haven't ever had cause to go to.
Yeah.
Norfolk or indeed, I don't think I've been particularly to much of Suffolk either. In Suffolk.
I've only ever ventured to Norfolk. I've been going to Norfolk for years and years now, but I don't know if anyone in the chat knows the county school station is part of the I think it's the Mid or North Norfolk Railway. But
it's the other one.
Mid Norfolk or something.
Something like Mid. Yeah, I know where you mean.
Yeah,
but I've never been there, but I do check out a lot of preserved lines.
There's a cottage just down on that track near County School Station, and that's where me and my family stayed for a good 10 years every year. And obviously we've got to go walk down and see the progress. Obviously with haven't got much funding up there, so the progress is slow. But I think they're working their way to joining it up with the rest of the line at, I think, East Dereham.
I've been following that project on and off for about 15 years, and they've been on the verge of reconnecting County School to the rest of the railway line for all of that time.
Yeah.
I think there's all bar a couple of, maybe even just a mile of track is still there in the undergrowth.
Yeah, you can walk down some of that track further towards East Dereham. But James Akers says County School is the Mid Norfolk Railway. Yeah, sorry, not North Norfolk.
Yeah, North Norfolk Railway is right up on the coast.
Yeah. Matt Slade, evening all. Thank you, Matt, for joining us. How is Jubilee Road going? I don't know if anyone's. Well, I'm sure most people have seen. Actually, he decided to rip his layout down and have a fresh start, as it were. But
sometimes that is what you need to do if you've run out of things to do.
Well, you look at Everard Junction.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did much the same. For a great many years, the layout on my channel was Bolton Trinity Road, and when I built up here, Trinity Road was just scrapped. It doesn't exist anymore.
Did you manage to save much from it, or was it all just pretty much?
Stuff like track, the point work, I saved all of that and reused it. Point motors, even the wiring, actually, I just took out handfuls of wiring from underneath, put it all in a box. So every time I needed a wire, I just go and look in the box
in the scrap box there.
Wire that was about the right length and use that. So that got said. There's some of the signal boxes came from there. The military training establishment, the building in that is the old station building.
I was going to say, I think did you say that was either two parts or a part of a old building that you think you turned around or something and then added a couple of bits?
It was originally built from 3 of the super quick market house kits. And Bolton Trinity Road, for those that didn't ever see it, the main station building was on the bridge above the railway. So it had that building on bridge girders with like stairways down to the platform. And when I scrapped all of that layout, I just turned it around so the road side is what is currently facing out. Is it the road? Actually, no, it's not the road side. The side that's facing the parade ground is actually the side where there were just stairs down to the platform. They've been removed, and
I think you did mention about it was originally the other way around for a station. That's what I think I was getting.
Yeah, because I think on the other side it's got like British Railways "Welcome to Bolton Trinity Road" signs and like a GMPTE bus stop sign on the other side. But of course that's all hidden now.
Yeah.
But I was very proud of that kit bashing.
No, it looks the part up there with the flag and everything and the.
Yeah, it worked out really quite well. And then there's other stuff like all the signalling as well. They're all ratio kits. All of that been salvaged. There's odd buildings, but aside from that, it's just like filling the dustbin with lots of stuff. I've recycled the baseboards, so my O-gauge layout is built on top of some of the baseboard that was salvaged from the shed. So actually, before I ballasted it, you could see where I'd scraped all the old ballast off, and you could see the outline with the double O track.
I was thinking of doing an O-gauge, sort of an indoor diorama type thing, because obviously I've got that in the garden at the moment, but that's unfortunately I can't go out in the middle of a hailstorm and play trains. So
garden layouts can be quite finicky. The big problem I've got with mine is that birds keep looking for worms, and when they do that, they kind of scrabble around and they cover my track with displaced undergrowth.
Yeah.
So my track slowly disappears underground and has to be carefully brushed out.
Yeah, no, I haven't had too much. I've only had issues with a bird feeder that's overhanging the track slightly, but that's the only, and obviously a cat that doesn't like seeing trains go past it. But other than that, I haven't had too many issues with it yet. But
I did have, when I first built it, there was a local cat that decided that my model railway cupboard monkey's getting frisky. My model railway, the O-gauge garden layout, was a really great place for it to leave its own special deposit on.
Special delivery.
Yeah, it sort of it just decided that the track was a perfect place to crouch down and leave a sample. Luckily, it's grown bored of that and no longer is doing it.
Yeah. Although my chat's just closed. I'm just gonna go get a tissue for my phone hand server.
For chat. WWC Felix, Matt, we're in Skewen. I know Skewen well. In fact, WWC Felix, are you based out of? There's a model shop in Skewen that I remember from years ago. And I can remember going in there. It was like part model shop, part pet. That wouldn't happen to be where you're based, is it? We're all online, have a big workshop and people can walk in. I'm happy to chat to anybody who listens.
That'd make a good video, that would, with WWC Next going to visit their HQ.
I mean, one of the things that I really want to do when lockdown comes to an end is I want to go out more and just before we got the lockdown, I did a visit to DCC Concepts.
I saw that, yeah. I saw that. It was very good.
And that went down really, really well.
Yeah, I had a few visits planned, but as you say, lockdown really put...
Yeah. But I've done a lot of rather than I've never gone and visited somebody else's layout, and that's something that I want to do as well. So
it's a lot of fun. I'll tell you that as you know, it's a lot of fun going to see what.
But I've done a lot of like retailers and up and down the country. So I've done videos and interviews, DCC Concepts, Hattons I've done loads of times, Rails and Sheffield, that was a really good one.
Yeah.
But then also some of the local model shops, going in interviewing people that run the shops has been really, really good.
Yeah.
And I just want to do more like that and kind of show people what model shops there are out there. I was in the process of organising a trip down to Hornby as well before everything went pear-shaped. Daypole as well over at Chirk.
Have you been to Pico's HQ? I think it's in Plymouth or somewhere Exeter.
I think it's Seaton. Beer.
Beer, that's it, yeah.
Near Seaton. I haven't, no, but I'm trying to wrangle an invite, but of course at the moment everything's up in the air.
Yeah.
You can just rock up there.
Yeah, they've got a ride on railway there, I think.
Yeah, because I tend to visit. I know Steve Flint, sort of very much arm's length. We basically did GMRC together. I do still get on quite well with Steve.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and wrangle something. And there's somebody else as well that I've done a lot of work with because Pico send out stuff for me to review.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of dealing with them, which is great. So I'm going to try and work something out. And I think that from an audience point of view, people like to see, the inner working.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, behind the scenes. Make things seem more human and accessible. Human aspect. That's what I was circling, like a leaf circling the plug hole.
Yeah.
Got there in the end.
We've still got over 50 people watching us at the moment, which I find unbelievable. Ian Ryan, good evening, mate. Thank you for joining us. Leslie, I don't know if I said hello to Leslie, but thank you for joining us as well. But yeah, I think going to see some of these, especially not all the mainstream ones. As you say, you're going to the local model shops and giving the local model shops exposure as well. Really good to see what goes on behind the scenes and such, even even the major ones in their factories and warehouses, just to see what no one else gets to see really, and what a bit light and bringing.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what people really liked about when I did Rails to Sheffield. I wasn't expecting to just get free run of the place and a guided tour.
Yeah.
Went down really well. People were like amazed at some of the things that I was just finding in their storerooms and showing it. And then we did the interview as well, which sometimes if you do these very informal type interviews, you get a lot out of people. And with the Rails of Sheffield, it was just great to chat with John and Oliver and I forget his name, the third one. And just like talking about everyday things, how the business came about, the history of Rails, and it just came across really well.
Yeah.
And I want to do more like that.
I found the interviews actually, like, even though these creators that I've interviewed have put out hundreds and hundreds of videos, I've actually found out stuff that I didn't even know. You could really sort of get to know the modeler more than just what they do on the
I
videos.
think sometimes there's some really interesting backstories, which I know from my own point of view, there's no point in me making a video about, hi everybody, I want to tell you all about all these little stories from my life. It would just come across as cringy as everything. But when somebody else comes and they ask you about stuff, they tease out these little stories, and it's much more natural.
Yeah.
And like I say, you learn things about YouTubers that you never really knew. I mean, that's why YouTube is full of people interviewing like actors and actresses and the people behind special effects and stuff, and you get these great stories.
Yeah. Timbersurf said like mouldy raspberries because Richard New Junction spoke to him, and no one even knew what he looked like.
Yeah, I know, because you never see him on camera.
Yeah. So, what's the time? 8:05. We'll sort of go. The final sort of thing I wanted to talk about was there any upcoming projects and things that you were looking sort of around the corner to work on, or?
Well, as I said before, I've just finished the really great review of the Warworld Scenic. So again, I purposefully chose an area that was it was quite disappointing to start with. It just looked like I'd kind of not bothered doing anything.
Yeah.
And I've transformed that into a really great area. And then I also, the second part of that video, I've tried to focus on what I describe as enlivening existing scenery. So kind of you get some scenery that you may have done months or years ago.
And it's starting to look a bit worse for wear.
Yeah, and it's about kind of how can I jazz that up without having to remove stuff and start adding to what's already there. But other projects, I'm doing a lot of like product showcasing for various things. So
you have got that. You've got that O-Gauge logo that's just turned up.
Yeah, I keep kind of waving this tantalisingly. There's going to be a review of the 14XX in O-Gauge from Dapol, but I'm doing a review in conjunction with Hattons on some of one in particular of their bargain train packs.
Yeah.
And showcasing, basically just trying to give people ideas at how you can kind of inspire a whole new vein of creativity in your railway modelling by maybe by ready-made train and rolling stock that fits into a certain aspect of modelling that you can then either add to an existing layout or build a separate layout that focuses on that. I'm trying to be a bit vague here, but that's something I'm doing with them. I've just finished filming a full review of the Rails of Sheffield Dapol Terrier.
They're the ones they've just come out, I believe. They've just stocked up on them.
As far as I can tell, I'm one of the first people to get it. And
oh wow!
I just shorted the track out now with a buzz dangling at me. And I do feel really quite honoured actually that I did the water tower video for Rails, and off the back of that, they kind of expedited the Terrier out to me and made sure that I got it fairly early on because they wanted that kind of similar video showcasing the product.
You can have them both. You can have them both featuring in the same video, couldn't you? You could have the Terrier sitting on.
I did think about that, but I thought that might be a little bit self-promotion, so I've not filmed it on that side of the layout. But then they also have talked with me about doing some other products, kind of how we did with the water tower, and working closely with them on producing video content in that kind of style. So we'll see what comes of that. I've also got some work with my channel sponsor, Trainomatic. I get the plug-in, making for DCC decoders and other accessories designed by enthusiasts
for enthusiasts.
There we go, get the plug-in. And that's the ABC modules.
Yeah.
So I'm currently planning that for a video. I'm doing some stuff for Hornby magazine for a New Junction. He's asked me to do a short video for them.
I think I'm doing an article for him, I think.
So he's asked me to do like a short 10-minute video, but with photographs and an accompanying article. So I've been given my theme, and I need to do that. I've been doing a lot of stuff for... I was like, because obviously behind the camera is the cupboard monkey, and she's the magical genius who actually does the editing.
Yeah.
Now, something else that I don't, maybe most people never even realise is that I can't actually edit any of my videos myself. I am that monumentally rubbish with computers. That without the cupboard monkey, aka Zoe, my partner.
That's the gaming hammer for those who don't know.
Game Hammer Classic.
Game Hammer Classic Games, sorry.
Her own channel. She does lots of retro computing stuff. But she's the creative genius behind the filming, the sound, and all of the graphics, everything. She even does the website.
The face behind the face.
Yeah, it's like basically, we can say, I'll get my people to do that. My people is the cupboard monkey.
Yeah.
She hate me for it. How dare you call me your people? But yeah, I did try editing once.
Didn't enjoy it?
And I couldn't get my head around it. I feel very old. I now understand my father a lot more when he was really useless with computers when I was young. And I've kind of turned into him.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is about computers. People like leave it through, well, you do this, and if you like, and there's that menu, and it's like I can feel it going in through one ear and
coming out the other, yeah. And especially with all this streaming stuff as well. There's actually a lot to take in for you to fully understand how it all clicks together properly.
Yeah. See, what you've got to remember is my first job was working in radio, and I was coming in right at the point when everything was still analog. So computers are very alien, like an alien construct that's kind of come to me a little bit later in life.
Yeah.
I started out editing physical tape, quarter-inch tape on big open reels, and we used to use razor blades to cut it, and we had this sticky tape.
Yeah.
That you'd physically stick two recordings together with. You'd use a Chinograph pencil to mark where you.
That's long before my time.
I mean, like totally old school. All of the adverts and jingles. Yeah, I used to make adverts and jingles, and we'd record them to a Sony Effects cartridge, which looks like an 8-track cart. If everybody understand. And you shove them into a machine, and it was a continuous loop of tape. So when computers started coming in, it was like, it's hamster, Mr. Vorty. Well, it made no sense to me.
Yeah. Well, that's technology, though, isn't it? It all kind of.
So I mean, there's something that most people probably didn't know about me that you've managed to wheedle out. So the question from me to you: what have you found out in all of your interviews with me about me that you never knew?
Oh, I'll tell you what. Actually, that's a good plug for my interview with you. Actually, if anyone wants to see a full-on interview with Jenny at Weir Yard, I did visit. I think I've visited twice now, I believe. So we're
twice actually. Yeah.
We're on the hat trick. So I thought.
Yeah, and I need to come down and visit you at some point.
Well, the Garden Railway is almost. Actually, talking of Garden Railway, now's a good time to show you what I'm about to start venturing into. So I got my my O-gauge signals have turned up, and I've got. I believe these are from China, which considering.
Are they particular brands then? I'm just wondering what people would search for to find them.
If you type in O-gauge signal into eBay, I'm actually I don't want to say where because when I checked this morning, they only had one left in stock, and I need to go and buy that. So once I bought that, I will then link to when they've got them in restocked.
Because I really like the Daypol do some great semaphore signals.
I had the I think it's the left-hand twin one when it had just come out on a double O-gauge on one of my previous layouts, and I with the light and the semaphore signal in it, and I thought they were absolutely brilliant products. They were.
Yeah. I must admit, it's like I say, oh yes, brilliant product. all of my signals up here are either ratio kits.
Burco? You gone for any Burco signals or?
Have they got what? Sorry.
Have you got the Burco signals? That's what I normally use.
One Burco signal, which is a great product actually, really good. And then the rest, I'm just looking on the pic. You can't see them. Just over here. I actually use old Hornby 00 color aspect signals. I actually.
Are they the big one? The ones with the big chunky head on top of them?
Let me try and find. Just give me one moment. I've got. And raining couplings down. Oh. I've just pinged the armour. If I don't put it back in,
you'll never do it.
Never find it again. Oh, yeah.
Norman says, it's late spring in the UK when both interviewee and interviewer both have sweaters on.
Yes, yeah, very much.
The weather's been very up and down recently.
So there is one of the Hornby 00 signals that I've got in my stash. This is actually, this one is not in the greatest of condition.
That's the old ones, because I think the newest Hornby ones are the big black.
No, these are Hornby 00.
I was going to say, that's the old.
That's from the late 1950s, early 1960s.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, some of the greatest ready-to-plant colour aspect signals ever created.
And what they run off 12 volts as well, or?
Yeah, but what I do is I turn them down I run them at about 6 volts because they're grain of wheat bulbs. And if you're at 12 volts, I think they're too bright and they burn out quite quickly. I've never found a replacement source for the bulbs. So I just repurpose old ones. I won't. One of my rules is if I find one that's pristine, I refuse to cannibalize it. I will actually just put it on the shelf and leave it there.
Really?
Because a Caravaggio for firewood. You know what I mean?
But as I said, that's what I thought you meant by they do have a new-ish version of signals. I don't want to say it's their latest product, but they've got them big sort of black chunky ones, I believe, the 2 aspects.
I wouldn't. They're great if you've got a toy like a more.
They're not. Yeah, they're nothing realistic at all.
For scale modelers.
Yeah.
There's a barge pole and.
Yeah, I can't say I've had any myself.
To say that, the caveat is, I think Hornby makes some great products. Unfortunately, that's probably not one of their best.
No, that's not something I would go to.
No. If you want the colour aspect signals, look out for the Hornby 00 ones. They are a great. Lose the base. That big plastic base. They just unscrew at the bottom, and you lose that, and then plant it. And actually, they look really good. I've got 2 over here, and they are great.
I think I did see that. I did see them when I visited on the layout running. But Flymo says I was looking at the DCC concept ground signals and such last night, and he said, "Is that the old faithful Hornby light signal?"
Which one? Sorry.
The one you just had there he said it was the old faithful Hornby light signal.
Yeah, and there's a junction one as well. So you see a junction. That's far too good.
Yeah.
You look at that. That will not be going onto the layout. It's even it's missing a bulb for some reason. I need to
fix that up.
This is too good. I would feel like an evil person if I cannibalised that into my layout.
Yeah.
So that will be left on the shelf forevermore. It's just too nice. And there can't be that many pristine ones.
No, I was going to say they must be extremely hard to come by now.
I've not seen them for a great many years, but it's something to just at model railway exhibitions have a good rummage in the sort of the bits and pieces boxes. So, there it is. Sorry, I'm just.
That's right. I'm just going through the comments. Dundee Road. Good evening, mate. Thank you for joining us.
Big hello to Dundee Road.
What else have we got in here? Still got over 50 people watching. Yeah, I was just going to say, I'll show you my final project that I was telling Richard about earlier. Actually, is I think I was looking on one of the rails of Sheffield or something like that, and or maybe Hatton's. And for an O gauge DMU, it was around £900, something ridiculous, or 3-car DMU. So I've decided to build my own DMU instead in O gauge. So this is my latest venture.
Oh, right. And, so is that a kit or is it...
This is part of a carriage kit, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use plastic card to build cabs at either end, then fit them with motors which I have on the way, and then obviously build the full interior. And
that is pretty hardcore, I have to say.
Yeah,
not too sad.
Well, with the 33, after I pulled the motor apart in that and got that working again, I thought this isn't actually the bigger the scale, the easier I find it to sort of pull things apart and put things together.
I know what you mean. It's easier to tinker with them because you've mentioned before now.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't dare do the same in double O. You know, it's one of the things that I guess that I like the least is building kits of rolling stock and locomotives. I just won't do it.
Really?
I've tried building rolling stock kits before, and I found it to be boring, and the end results was just so poor compared with the quality of ready-to-run stock that I didn't feel right even putting it anywhere near.
Well, as I say, the only reason I was doing this was because it was £900 for a brand new unit. So I just thought, for what it's worth, I might as well get it. It's only.
I have to say that Daypol have done a great job of making O-Gauge accessible to the masses because, you know, you're saying £900 for a DMU.
Yeah.
That is the sort of money that you would pay for any locomotive. Back upwards.
Definitely.
And then Daypol brought locomotives to the O-Gauge market ready to run that were under £200.
Well, they've got the 121 coming out, and I promise you, as soon as I see that available, that is coming straight over here.
That's coming out in O-Gauge, is it?
Yeah, that is. I'm not sure when though. But it's ready for pre-order on Rails of Sheffield for 225, I believe.
Right.
So
that sounds about right. It's a great price.
Yeah.
The Helgen 128. How are you finding that?
I'll go grab that now as it's sat next to me on the floor. Absolutely. I can't explain how much I love this model. Like I really, really have fallen in love with this 128, and that's probably why I want to get the bubble car because of the same sort of two.
I've actually got. If I just rummage around up here, I've got that same model, but in double O.
I think a couple of people watching the stream as well afterwards. I know Kev from Medway actually went and bought the double O version as well as soon as he seen.
I mean, the double O version is a bit dusty.
As you dust it up. The O-Gauge one is really, really heavy.
Yeah,
really heavy.
The double O one is amazingly heavy, but it's such a reliable runner. What running numbers on yours? I've got 55995 on this. I'm just curious.
I've got 55993.
Right, it's not exactly the same model, but yeah, I mean they are great, and it's a very eye-catching livery. But if in O-Gauge, for the
128.
If I bought one in O-Gauge, I'd either be BR blue or BR green, I think.
Yeah, I think with the 121, I'm toying between either the BR blue, the darker blue, or the BR green with the speed whiskers. Are the two I'm kind of floating between.
It looks a bit like Daisy from Thomas the Tank.
That's the. Let's have a look at what sort of DMU were you planning to build. Again, I'm probably just going to freelance it, but if there are anyone here who can 3D print or anything, that will save me a lot of time building seat interiors and the likes of that.
Coaches, are they Mark 1 coaches?
I believe they are, yes, but I'm going to adapt them to what I need them to go to.
I don't know, some of the third rail electric stuff is based around Mark 1 coaches. I have a feeling the class 411 is that based on Mark 1 coaches.
I'm not entirely sure what they were.
But in terms of DMUs, you couldn't do a 101, but.
James says, "Oh God, Ollie, don't show me the class 128 again. I still want it, but can't find any left in stock." Yeah, I saw that on. Well, I saw it Rails of Sheffield when they were doing their discounts every day, and one day they did
£325. It's a pretty good price for one.
Yeah, and that was 220. That was down from 600.
I know it's a big.
Yeah, and the day before they'd done the class 25, I think for 250 or something like that. I thought I missed that. And then I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm going to have to, otherwise I'm going to...
Yeah, the class 25 is one which is I do love a rat.
Yeah.
And I think in O gauge it would be lovely. The only thing that puts me off is you have to number them yourself. They don't come ready numbered, and I feel a bit cautious about.
Oh, what for the 25s? They're not numbered, are they?
The ones I saw were unnumbered. They've got like the BR double logo and stuff.
Yeah.
Press. But I don't know whether they come with like a sheet of transfer, so you pick which number you want. I'm not sure, but they don't. The O gauge ones don't come with a number. The class 3 shunters are the same.
Yeah, I think yeah. J94 says, to be honest, I wouldn't. I would go freelance with the DMU, but I might get a telling off from people who like DMUs. Yeah, no, I think because it's a garden railway, and there's no particular sort of. I'm not sitting there thinking I need to do this and that. It's very much the railway's built as much as I can into the garden.
I always get annoyed when people say, "Oh, you can't do that, you can't do this," and it's like, get lost. It's my railway. I'll do whatever I like.
So much to the point. Actually, I think the station building well, I've got 2 stations on the garden. The one nearest to me that sort of most people can see will be a proper station building, but the one that goes through the sort of countryside bit, which is the bit through all the bushes and stuff, we're actually going to make into a big beehive, so a sort of bee hotel, because we have a lot of bee sort of like sort of bee buildings at the back, so we're going to make the station into a big insect haven, if you like, for the. So yeah,
they take the ump when the train passes by.
Oh yeah, they can't stay on the track too long because I'm not responsible for any any bees under the trains.
Well, if you have your own hive, you get your own honey. And actually, one of the things, anybody who suffers from hay fever, I'm told that if you get hold of honey from your local area, so if you know somebody who's got a hive, get them to give you a jar of the honey from that hive, then it's actually a very good way of curing your hay fever for that.
Is that because the bees are in that area collecting that pollen from?
They collect the pollen from the plants that would be giving you hay fever, and effectively it's a little bit like getting the flu jab, but you're getting a hay fever jab by eating the honey, and it has to be from a local hive. That's what I was told. I don't know if there's any truth in that because I don't get hay fever, but that's what I was told.
Keith Edwards says, with most Helgen, they leave it to the buyer, but do offer some already numbered, name number class 52, St Paddy's class 55. So I suppose maybe there is an option where people want to personalise it as such.
I think ones where it's got a name, they come ready numbered.
Oh, to base on the real thing.
Yeah, so the class 52s come with various numbers and stuff on, but in terms of the others, I've not seen Helgen release ready numbered ones.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because I hate doing stuff like that. I'm always frightened I'll make a hash of it.
Yeah. Well, we're coming up to 8:30 now. I think we've still got 51 people watching, which is I find absolutely unbelievable. But
what do you normally get?
40. We had 60 at one point. I think we peaked at 62, but I get 30 and 40. But I just want to say, really, as we've gone for about 2 hours now, minus 10 minutes of absolute carnage at the start.
10 minutes of the anarchy, where if you couldn't lip read, you didn't know what the heck we were going on about.
But yeah, if you know anyone in the chat who, or if anyone in the chat wants to come and jump onto live stream,
I was having a conversation with somebody, probably back towards the, might have been even the end of last year. And I said, why do I never get invited on anything? You know, it's like nobody ever invites me on, and then all of a sudden, I started getting invited on stuff. It's like,
Sunday, is it?
The Terrier video comes out tomorrow. The War World Scenics comes out Friday, and from then on, I don't know. I know nothing. I mean, there is a schedule. But I couldn't tell you what goes where.
My next video is Monday. Oh yeah, definitely Monday Club. If you haven't tuned in, I'm sure most of the people here know what Monday Club is, but if you haven't, 7 p.m. on Jenny's channel.
Quite big actually. I'm really impressed. We're slowly building a bigger and bigger audience.
Yeah, your numbers were really high last Monday. Really high. I think there were 220. I saw at one point.
According to the stats at the end, the maximum concurrent was 250. At some point, it hit 250.
Wow.
Which I think is a channel record. But don't quote me on that. But normally we hover at about the 200 mark.
Yeah.
At one moment in time.
I think when I came to visit you, we had about 205. I think at one point watching, which was really cool.
but it's slowly ramping up.
I think it's the same as mine actually. Slowly, every touch stream we got one or two more, which is great. Great to see more people enjoying the content. Really.
Yeah, and what you find at the end is in the stats, it tells you how many new subscribers you get as well. And I normally pick up around 10, 15 new subscribers each time.
Oh wow! So well, if you are new to here, please feel free to subscribe.
But what you find is that it's an exponential growth. The bigger your channel gets, the faster your channel then gets. It sort of grows at a faster and faster rate. It's just the way of things.
Well,
you're well over 1,000 now, aren't you?
No, I think I'm about 5 off 1,000. I think that's where that.
I thought you'd hit 1,000.
No, I'm about 5 off at the moment. So if there are 5 people in the chat that feel, just feel free to subscribe.
Definitely. If there's anybody in the chat room who is not subscribed to Wardle Road, don't forget to go and check out the channel and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, and you will first know about new videos as and when they go up.
And of course,
I don't know if there's like a deadline.
No, I was given as much time as I need apparently to put something together.
That's good, because I can't start work on anything until Sunday.
Well, talking of Sunday, that's when my next Garden Railway update video will be out, and I've decided because the last 2 I've done was over sort of 2-3 days, so this one has been over a week of progress. So I've got nighttime running shots, daytime. I've tried to ram as much as I can in variation landscape. Each piece is bespoke, each layer, each post and everything's bespoke per feet of track. Plus I've added
track, because Pico track has been really tricky to
I've got track. Don't worry, Jenny. I've got track to complete it. I've had to buy a couple of points which I was fitting in today, and they're all running perfectly.
No,
£50 a piece for the sort of the medium radius ones that I've got. But yeah, that video is out Sunday.
Pico as well.
They're Pico, everything Pico, bullhead. Yeah.
I mean, it's great quality track work. It's not cheap. I bought 3 for my garden railway. And it's like, oh, that hurts. And then I've got one on my little O gauge layout down here as well.
Yeah, Matt Slade, who's just popped into chat, I said I'll come visit your garden railway sometime. I've been meaning to message you actually. I think so. If you drop me a message on Facebook, we'll have a chat about sorting some kind of interview or something out. That'd be really good. But yeah, thank you, Jenny, for joining us tonight. Sorry about the technical issues at the start, and hopefully we'll be back very soon for some more videos. Hopefully, and another visit to Weir Yard.
Yeah, and hopefully at some point if the invitation's still.
100%. Yeah. Once this garden railway is going, I should be able to get about 3-4 trains running at once, so we can have a nice little garden party.
One of the things I was thinking, once lockdowns ended, I was going to try and have some kind of a barbecue here, get the garden railway running, and not for I think doing something like that. I don't want to film it as a video because I think people will be like, oh, you're only doing this for the views. I want to have a nice break of lockdown party where everybody can kind of get together. Probably people are shouting like, no, don't bring your germs up and down the country. But just kind of a nice social gathering.
Yeah.
People, like-minded people.
Well, as long as you don't mind me bringing all my stock up there to take for a spin as well.
No worries. It's like I know when Cottesmore came to visit, he brought all this Arriva Wales stuff, and we had all that trundling around the layout, and people were like, oh my God, Jenny's going to crumble to dust. Modern Image just appeared.
Well, yeah. As I say, we'll probably leave it there now, but a huge thank you for joining us, and a huge thank you to everybody who's been in the chat. Sorry I haven't been the chat has been flying past today actually, so I've been having to go.
It is hard to keep up.
As I say, that's one thing I find funny about your streams. I think I often say it in your streams, Jenny, is that I put a comment in, and then 20 minutes later you read it, I put another comment saying this is how long it's taken for Jenny to catch up with the chat.
And it's unfortunately what you'll find is that the bigger and bigger the audience, the faster people are putting costs. And I've seen some channels where if you go and look on a live stream for a channel that's got like 500,000 subscribers, you can't even read the comments.
By the time you've sent your comment, it's at the top somewhere, and another 100,000.
It's absolutely gone. So what I find is that I do try and read all the comments, but it's reaching that point where I think I'm going to have to raise the white flag and say, look, I'm really sorry, but it is just becoming impossible, because like you say, you end up 20-25 minutes behind the comments.
Especially when you're saying hello to people at the start as well, and you go back to
so I think I'm going to have to rethink my strategy a little bit on that, just because it's just physically not possible to keep up with the comments.
Well, yeah. Thank you very much, Jenny, for joining me. As I say, thank you to everybody in the chat for joining me, and hopefully everyone enjoyed having the guest on. As I say, if you do know anyone or want to come on yourself and have a chat, just like this, really, just have a nice couple of hours of talking trains. Hopefully with less.
Honestly, it really is a great vibe we've got going on.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Jenny, for joining us, and I will see everybody, probably in Jenny's Monday Club, if not the premiere of my video on Sunday. So yeah, thank you very much, guys, for joining, and I'll see you, Jenny, and see everyone in the chat later on.
Take care, everybody. Catch you later.